Weather Service in Raleigh, it's Nick Petro with your routine Thursday weekly briefing for Central North Carolina, and we're going to go through the 18th of September. So, yeah, I'm going to do things maybe slightly differently than what you're used to seeing, just a slide. So let me switch screens here, and I'm going to show a couple graphics here because the first thing I want to demonstrate right here is the from the hurricanes.gov, the National Hurricane Center. Remember, if it's hurricanes you love, it's hurricanes.gov. So anyway, here's the 7-day tropical weather outlook. And Francine is just a depression now. Of course, it weakened when it moved inland. And in fact, the Hurricane Center just issued its last advisory on tropical depression Francine. There's 7 here, way out in the eastern Atlantic. If we click on that, you can see it's just expected to remain a tropical storm as it slowly drifts east. The other area that we're keeping our eyes on is this area of low pressure potential formation there along an old boundary off our coast. And they're giving it about a 30% chance of development through the next 7 days. And so we're keeping our eyes on that. That's the models have been, somewhat persistent and wanting to develop something off the coast and along that boundary. So what is that boundary we're talking about? Here's the current weather map, and let me zoom in to make this a little bigger. This L here depicts, let me get one of my pointer here. This L depicts Laura. I'm using your name. Sorry, I got your name in my, this is Francine, sorry. Sorry, for those listening to the recording, one of our meteorologists, our new meteorologist, Laura's sitting alongside me, so I apologize for the slip of the tongue there. Tropical depression Francine, and to the east of that, look at this stationary boundary. This is an old boundary that moved through, what, five or so days ago, and that's what brought us the much pleasant weather. In fact, there's high pressure here off the northeast coast, and remember, what's flow around high pressure? Clockwise. So this flow, northeast flow, has been bringing us our much more pleasant temperatures and nice weather, quite frankly. So that old boundary is stalled out to our south, and along boundaries over warm water this time of year, it's not unusual for areas and waves of low pressure to want to develop along that. So anyway, we're keeping our eyes to that as we go into the future, and we look at what the fronts will look like by tomorrow morning, and you can see what's left of Francine moving up the Mississippi River Valley, and then we start to see low pressure taking form off of Jacksonville, Florida. That's early tomorrow, late day tomorrow, and then by 12Z, which is 8 a.m. Saturday, you can see there's a little bit of green painted over us, and this really is going to be really just, I would say, nuisance rain. Very light rain. The amounts are going to be very light. The low that we're keeping our eyes on is still well to our southeast. So what's causing all this rain? Well, basically, is if we look at the satellite imagery here, you can see there's quite a bit of moisture to our south, and you can see the yellow is the dry air, and really this is kind of, the old front is kind of somewhat laid out like this. But as flow aloft comes up from the southwest, it overruns this cool air. So you have warm air coming up from the southwest and cool air in place over us. And that is a precip maker pattern. So it's not unusual for light precip to develop in that kind of pattern. So going back to our weather maps here, we can see some light rain, maybe as early as tomorrow. Let me go back to tomorrow. And you can see along the coast and to our west, there may be some light rain, but Saturday during the day, don't be surprised if there is a little bit of light rain and sprinkles at times. It's not going to be a washout. It's not going to be a soaking rain. It will be cloudy and kind of dreary and cool, but if you got outdoor plans on Saturday, I've got outdoor plans on Saturday, and I'm going to continue those plans, and I'm going to do what I was planning on doing outdoors on Saturday. But I might have, a rain jacket just in case it rains for a short period of time, light drizzle, nothing too heavy. It's not going to stop the plans for Saturday. Anyway, that's the way we see it. And then by Sunday, Notice low pressure here starting to develop and take better shape. That moisture is continuing to move up from the southwest, so we'll have, again, pockets of light rain. And then on Monday, that's when we really start to see things amping up here with low pressure just off Myrtle Beach. And then, of course, you know what happens around low pressure. The flow is counterclockwise, so we're going to see a lot of moisture streaming in from the east and southeast, and that's why we have a darker green painted over us for Monday, because this low will toss a lot of moisture and rain back west over central North Carolina. By Tuesday, it's a slow mover, so we're still in the rain. Wednesday, just whatever it comes of that low, it's not going to stick around. It'll dissipate, but it'll leave a trough in its wake. So it looks like we're going to have rain in the forecast right through the middle towards the end of the week. That's Thursday. So when we talk about how much rain will that produce, here's the rainfall amounts, and you could see nothing today, a little bit of light rain, you know, a 1/10 of an inch or less tomorrow. Similar for Saturday. Remember, I said that I'm continuing my plans for Saturday afternoon. Even if we get a 1/10 of an inch of rain on Saturday, that's still, again, not a soaking rain, not a washout. Here's Sunday. That heavier rain is moving up. Here's Monday. That'll probably be the heaviest rain day with that low pressure. Here is Tuesday, and that low will be lifting north and dissipating. And then here's Wednesday, some leftover rain. If you add up the 7 days worth of rain, gosh, that's what, over 2.5, 3 inches of rain for much of central North Carolina. Maybe a solid 2 inches of rain up near the Virginia border. So we could be in for maybe a little bit of a soaking rain come maybe very late in the weekend through the first half of next week, a soaking rain then. But until then, any rain we get tomorrow and Saturday should be the lighter variety. Okay, so one last thing I want to show on this web page is the excessive rain outlook. This indicates the potential for flash flooding. No problems today, no problems tomorrow, no problems Saturday. Sunday, maybe some flash flood risk south and east of Raleigh, and then by Monday, that's when most of central North Carolina will see a potential for flash flooding, the marginal risk for excessive rain. Okay, so that's the way we see this thing's shaping up. Here's how it all pans out into your official forecast. You know, of course, those temperatures are looking real nice, lower 80s. I'll take that. And maybe even some sunshine between those little patches of rain on Saturday. So, but certainly as you get into Sunday night and Monday, look at those rain chances going up. So anyway, keep that in mind. Let's go back to the slides and make sure I didn't forget to show anything. 1 second here as I switch screens. So we talked about that already. We talked about, severe potential. We're not really expecting any severe thunderstorms or very low risk for thunderstorms anyway. That's what this graphic is. I already showed the rain. There's the tropical weather outlook. We started with that earlier. And here's the 8 to 14 day outlook. So right now for the following week, it's looking warmer than normal and wetter than normal. So anyway, that's how things are shaping up. Maybe that little above normal pocket there might be taken into account next week's weather. We'll see, but anyway, warmer and wetter. And then finally, wrapping it up, fair weather will continue through early Friday, and then pockets of light rain and cooler than normal temperatures will be possible from basically Friday through Sunday. The rain during this time will be light. Not expecting a washout during this time. We're keeping our eye on possible low pressure development off the Carolina coast early next week. Should that low develop, it could spread periods of heavier rain across central North Carolina early next week. And again, that could bring a threat for localized flooding, particularly Monday, maybe even into Tuesday. So anyway, that wraps up our Thursday briefing for central North Carolina. Laura, did I forget anything? Or did we cover it all?
I think you covered it all.
All right, so that wraps it up for today's briefing. I'm gonna